In this tutorial, we are going to work on finishing up the album. So we will be making the pocket photo mats and the inserts for the pages and adding some additional embellishments. The first thing I'm going to do is make my large photo mats for my pockets. Now I have decided that I'm going to be using the darker purple paper I used to mat the front of my album. I'm going to use these for the photo mats for the pockets as well, because I don't have a lot of the design paper left. So I'm going to be using the light purple paper as photo mats for my inserts. Now, if you did purchase additional paper and you want to go ahead and change up this style of the photo mats, you are more than welcome to do so. The first thing I have done is I have cut 8 of these lavender photo mats to 4 1/4 by 7 inches. And I've cut 4 of my darker purple papers to 8 1/2 by 7 1/4. I have 4 little tiny pieces of my twine that measure 1 1/2 inches. And I have 4 of the charms that came with my paper from Scrap and Crate. If you followed any of my tutorials in the past, you know I like to hang some charm dangles from the photo mats, just because they'll hang out of the pocket so people will know that they're there and you can pull them out. And I think it looks cute hanging down on the edge of the album. So what I'm going to do is take my adhesive and apply some just to this edge. And this is about 1 1/4 inches down from the top of my page. And I'm going to loop a charm on there. I have my butterfly charm on this one. And I'm going to place this right here into that adhesive. Now I'm only leaving a little tiny bit of a loop out so that my charm doesn't hang too far out past the edge of my page. You can let yours hang down however you prefer, but I'm going to just give a little tiny bit for mine. Then I'm going to take one of these light purple photo mats and apply my adhesive to the back side of it. And I'm just going to add this to the right side of my photo mat here, covering those ends of the twine. Now, the nice thing about this is you can place 2 photos on there. You can place one full 4x6 photo on here. You can journal on this. So whatever you would prefer to do, it will fit on this paper here. Then I'm going to flip this over on the back side, and I'm going to place this one here on this back side on now the left side of the photo mat. Once I have this photo mat on the back side, I'm just going to go ahead and set this one aside for now. And I'm going to do the same thing with this next photo mat, but this one I'm going to place, excuse me, I'm going to place my twine about 2 5/8 of an inch down from the top. And this time I'm using the bicycle charm. So just going to place the ends of the twine there so that that bicycle will hang right off of the page. And then I'm going to take this photo mat and place it here, and then I'm going to place one on the back side. Once I put my photo mats on this one, I'm going to set this one aside and bring in my 3rd photo mat. And this one, my piece is going to be about 4 1/4 inches down from the top. Or my charm, I guess I should say, is going to be about 4 1/4 inches down from the top. This time I'm going to use the teapot charm, and I'm going to place my teapot hanging off the edge of the mat. Then I'll place one of my photo mats here and then another one on the back side. Once I have those photo mats on, I'll go ahead and set that one aside and bring my final photo mat in. This one, I'm going to place my charm about 5 3/4 from the top edge. And for this one, I'm going to be using the clock charm. So I'm just going to place it on my twine and have it dangling over the edge of that photo mat. Then I'll take my final photo mats and place them on the edge. So I have gone ahead and cut out all of the different little cut apart and journaling cards that I had left from the 8x8 and 12x12 papers. I didn't touch the fussy cutting sheets yet. I'm not going to fussy cut all of this stuff out, but I did cut out everything that I had left. So I have it all on my desk here. And this is what I'm going to use for the photo mats, but then also inside of the album. So for these fronts of my photo mats, I've got a piece that measures 3 3/4 by 4 1/4. I've cut 4 of these. I'm going to place this as a photo mat here on the top, and I'm going to line up that edge. And then on this first one, I've got this card, and I'm going to place it down here in this extra space so that I have some of the decorative paper in addition to my photo mats. Then for the second one, I've got my 3 3/4 by 4 inch photo mat. And I've got these two cut apart cards. I'm going to place them. You can place them side by side or with the space, whatever you prefer. And I'm going to place those ones down there. Then for my third photo mat, I've got my 3 3/4 by 4 1/4 inch paper. And then I've got this card that I'm going to place down here in the bottom corner. And for my fourth one, I've got my 3 3/4 by 4 1/4 mat, and I've got this card here that I'm going to place down here in the corner. I'm going to apply all of these, then we'll flip over and focus on the back side. For the back side, I've cut 4 of these pieces that measure 3 3/4 by 3 1/2. I'm going to place these up here in the top corner. And from the 12 by 12 fussy cutting sheet, I have cut 4 different pieces. So I'm going to place this here. Now I'm going to place this and try to get this piece to be in most of this purple as I can. So for this, I'm not going to adhere down these little pieces that overlap. So anything that overlaps the lighter purple, I will not adhere down. So I have the watering can for my fourth photo mat. I have this gazebo for the third photo mat, the cart for the second photo mat, and the bicycle for the first photo mat. So I'm going to place all of these on, and then we'll go ahead and place them in the album. Here's a look at the first photo mat. I'm going to place this one between these pocket pages here. Being careful when I slide that one in because it does have those little pieces that aren't all the way adhered down on the bicycle. So then I'm going to have my little charm hanging out the end. This is the second photo mat, and I'm going to place it in the second pocket. Here's the third photo mat. It's going to go in the pocket page between the third pages. And this is the photo mat for the fourth pocket page. Now that all of the photo mats are inside the pockets, we're going to go ahead and start embellishing and adding our photo mats here. So first I've taken this cut apart, I've backed it on some cardstock, and I'm going to apply my adhesive here just to both sides and then across the bottom. I'm going to place this down here at the bottom of this front cover as a pocket. Then I've got this bookmark that I'm going to place in here as a journaling spot. Once I have my bookmark in my pocket, I'm actually going to adhere this last big purple flower onto this front page here. And I'm going to try to flatten it a little bit, smashing it down. But I'm going to just adhere it to that top corner, and then this will still be able to come out. Now I will go through the different photo mats in the pockets, as you can see here, when I'm done, but I'm going to be adding my chipboard pieces on first. So I've got my little watering can. I'm going to place it right over top of this. Then from the Fussy cutting sheet, I've cut this, and I'm going to be placing this down in here and then adhering this down just to give it a little bit more of dimension. So I'll just add a little tiny bit of adhesive to this tip and tuck it in here. And then apply my adhesive to that. Then I'm just going to apply my adhesive here right over top of that piece that's on there, because I don't want to adhere down parts of this can that are over top of the card. And then I'm going to place some adhesive on this part here just to adhere this down so that it doesn't rip off when the pages are opening and closing. For this page, I'm going to take my chipboard butterfly, and I'm only going to be adhering, so I'm just going to place basically the adhesive right over top of where that magnet is. I'm going to be adhering that bottom piece and just a little bit on the wing above it, right to that closure. So once I do this, you can see where that adhesive needs to go. I want to still be able to read the writing on this closure piece. For my chipboard bow, I'm going to apply my adhesive to the whole back part of the bow, and I'm going to place this here on my watering can, right where that handle is. Now, for this piece here, I've taken my chipboard mason jar, I've tied my twine around it twice and tied it into a bow. Then I've cut this out of the Fussy cutting sheet. I did cut it a little bit more narrow here because I want this to look like it is sticking out of this mason jar. So first I'm going to apply my adhesive to that bottom portion and then place this right here on the mason jar. And then I'm going to set this piece right here in front of the mason jar on my page. So I'm going to then adhere this entire piece down, so making sure I get adhesive on all those little ends so that it doesn't stick up and get caught on anything. I'll just overlap it to where I like the look of it and adhere this down. On this page, I'm going to be placing my little wagon chipboard piece, and I have this, again, that's the same image as the previous one we just did. I'm going to be placing this here in the little wagon. Then I have this piece too, and I'm going to place it here. So I'm going to layer these up like this so they look like they are just being stored in the wagon. To do this, I've got some adhesive on those pieces. I'm going to place my wagon where I like it. Going to stick these pieces in place like this, and then adhere them to the wagon. And then I will take my adhesive on the wagon and those two pieces to place them on the page, making sure that I get all these little end pieces so that the papers stick down, and when the pages turn, they don't get caught on anything. So I'm just going to go ahead and place this right here. Now for this one, I've got my little basket, and I'm going to place my adhesive on it first. And I'm going to place this basket right over top of that medallion looking thing on the paper. And then I have this from the Fussy cutting sheet. I'm going to just cut that part off, and I'm going to apply my adhesive here, tucking this down into the basket like this, and then I'm going to adhere those down over top the handle and onto that flap. That I'm going to layer up in here. So that that basket looks like it's full of lavender. Put the other piece right in here, coming out that part. Now I have one of the little tiny purple flowers from the Fussy cutting sheets, and I'm just going to place it here on the front of the basket as a little added decoration. For the back side of the page, I've taken this oval, I've backed it onto cardstock, and I have Fussy cut around it, and I'm just going to be adhering down the sides and the bottom. And I'm going to try to place this It's going to be just a little off center from this, and that's okay. But I want to be able to see these butterflies when I put my little tag in here, or I want to see this butterfly, I guess I should say. Now I've taken this flower, I've pulled out the center part, and it had this ball in it, so it was really thick. And then I just pushed these down in the center to crush it a little bit and make it flatter. So I'm going to take this flower and adhere it down here. And just like on the front cover, I'm going to smash this to flatten it. And then I'm going to actually take my glue into the center and glue these centers down. Since I did take the piece out, I want to just try to make it look like it's not missing a piece. So it's got a little bit of dimension, but it's not too much. Okay, so now we're going to go back through the album one more time, and we're going to be adding the different photo mats and finishing everything up. In this final section, I'm going to flip through the album and show you the photo mats that I put in and how I decorated them. But keep in mind, you can make your photo mats any size you want and decorate them any way you want. I didn't have a lot of my lavender paper left, so I just made up some sizes that are pretty similar to typical 4x6 or 4x5 or 3x4 photos. If you want just 4x6 photo mats, you can do that if you have enough paper. And also thinking about if you want to have the decorative paper, I didn't have enough to cover everything, but I do have some leftover paper, so you could potentially cover some of these photo mats. I'm just going to leave all of mine plain because they are all going to be covered with photos, so there's not really any reason to need to cover them. So in my front pocket here, this one measures 4x6. This is open at the top, so I just have a little tiny bit of glue across the top holding that on. None of them are decorated on the back side. And then this will be like a little pull as well, so in case this goes in here all the way, it won't get lost in the pocket. Then this photo mat is 4.5 by 5 5/8. And then again, I have this little label up here just adhered to the top, so it acts as a little tab that can pull out. And I think I showed the bookmark already in that pocket. Over here, we have 2 photo mats. I'm going to pull these out of the bottom. Both of these photo mats measure 3¼ by 4¼ Everything is open so that the photos can slide behind them. Now they will slide down from the top, but if you're sliding them up, you just want to make sure that they don't catch on anything when you're taking these out of the album. Then here, I decided to go ahead and put this card in this pocket. I'm just going to leave it plain on the back so you could add some photos there. And then this one is, I believe it's a 4x6. I had enough to make 6 4x6 photo mats. So it's 4x6, and then I have the 2 pieces here, and then I'll just tuck this right here into the pocket, like this. Now there's nothing inside of that, so I'm going to leave it tied shut. And in here, I have a photo mat that measures 5 inches by 4 inches. It goes this way. And again, open. And then this one is 3.5 by 4.5. So I'm just going to tuck these in here. And these pockets have plenty of room, so you could always add more photo mats to yours if you need to. In here, I didn't add anything because we just have those waterfalls, and then those pockets already have the little journaling cards. On this one, in the little tiny pocket in the front, I have a 3¼ by 3.5 photo mat with a butterfly on it. And then here, I have a 4x6 with that watering can, and it's going to get tucked right underneath my belly band, but I don't want this to catch on it. There we go. And then here, for underneath that belly band, I have a 3 by 5 inch piece with that little watering can. It's going to slide right there under that belly band. And then in here, on each side, I have a photo mat that measures 3 by 3.5. And I have the little pieces sticking out of the side that the pockets are on. So the bottom's here, and then this one's the top. So this is also 3 by 3.5. And then these ones are 3.5 by 4.5. So we've got the little gate and then the bicycle. For this one, I have, this one is 5 inches by 5 inches, and I just made a little tab and I put this little tiny mason jar on it, just as a pull. Now, if I had longer or bigger pieces of paper, I probably would have made a larger photo mat for this to fit behind the entire page, but I'm just using the pieces that I had, so that's what I came up with. On this one, it's about 3.5 by 8 inches, and then I just adhered the top portion of this on, so it's a long photo mat or journaling card, whatever you would want to use it for. You can put smaller photos on there. And those stick out so you know easier to pull them. There's nothing inside here that we needed to do. Now I thought this page was a little too plain, so I did fussy cut some butterflies and put on here. I contemplated putting something here, but I didn't want to take away from that, so I just put those 2 butterflies there. And then inside of here for the pocket, I have 2 4x6 photo mats with the little pieces open. And I'm just going to tuck those right into that pocket. And then on the back side of the page, in this top pocket, I've got one that measures 5 inches by 4 inches, open at the top. And I like to put them off of the photo mats here just so that it doesn't cover up the photo. There's a lot of really big pieces of ephemera here, so I wanted to make sure that I have plenty of room for a photo to actually go in it. 4x6 adhered just at the top. And then both of these ones are 3.5 by 4.5. This one has the little tea set, and then this one has the little gazebo, and they will tuck down in here. Then for the back cover, I have, both of them are 4x6, so we've got this oval tab just like the one in the front, and then we've got this tab here with the little butterfly on it. So that is all of the photo mats that I have in my album. Now, obviously there is still plenty of room in here, so if you are interested in putting more photo mats in your album, you can definitely do so. So that's it for the tutorial series. I hope you have enjoyed making the Ciao Bella Morning in Provence mini album. Now, if you're just joining the tutorial series, don't forget to click on the links in the description box below where you can purchase all of your supplies from the collection and the flowers from Scrap and Create, and then the chipboard pieces are available in my Etsy shop. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.